her parents were based in Kingston. There was a link with the rural area because her grandparents were in Manchester, in rural, in sort of farmland. And she had a lot of rural influence going out there always for holidays to her grandmother. And her grandmother was black, totally, completely racially black, coming from, as far as the family legend goes, family history, from a Ashanti line. And then her father...
Sorry, when you say Ashanti, you mean the
from
African,
West Africa, yeah.
So this would be right through the whole slave period.
But apparently I say apparently because we have no tangible records. It's through family history and discussion and putting two and two together. It seems that this would be my great-grandmother's grandparents, or maybe even her parents, had come after slavery. Yeah, with some, there was quite a bit of movement. And so the story goes. Either that or she had come much sooner. But there were some artifacts in the house which identified her with the family with the Ashanti. Yeah, and suspect that if they could bring any artifacts with them, such as a stool, an Ashanti stool, that meant that it probably was after slavery. I doubt they would have been able to bring even a stool. But knew less about her background than I would have liked. It's as though she didn't take a lot of interest in her family history. And I don't know whether this wasn't part of a fairly typical Jamaican denial of their background. You were what you were, and you didn't particularly want to know who had come from Africa and who had come, you were more keen on saying who had come from England in your family background rather than the ones from Africa. You knew, but she didn't seem to take much interest no. She grew up in Kingston. She was very fond of her grandmother, who was the African descendant, at least one or generation away from Africa. She was very close to her. So there wasn't any personal antagonism or so. And that lady was very strong, a very strong woman, even from her photographs, you can see she was very much, large and in charge, yes, of everything and everybody and the whole family and the I call it the land or whatever was going on. Her husband, my great-grandfather, I never knew him. He died fairly young, the usual thing, died of a fever or something like that. So she, carried on with her 10 children, of which my grandmother was one.
But your mother, was she interested in ideas like your father? Or?
No, not to the extent. No, not by any means. I learned about my family history more from my great aunt, my grandmother's sister, youngest sister. So she lived longer while I was still I had grown up, and could really used to talk.